Hello, I'm Sleepy7, and before I go to bed, I wanted to just play another Game Boy game. It's Game Boy Grab Bag time. Dave Mira Freestyle BMX. Yeah, okay. It's another Game Boy Color sports game, I guess. It's like there used to be a name here, but it got scratched out or something, so I don't even know whose name this is. Whoever bought this, guess they like BMX or Dave Mira or something. So yeah. I don't know anything about this game really. Acclaim made it. There's the logo right here, I guess. This is another one of those just random shovelware games that I got for as like a birthday, Christmas present or something. I don't remember. But yeah, I do know that the Dave Mira BMX games eventually gave rise to BMX Triple X because I guess they wanted to make a I guess BMX biking didn't appeal to enough people, so they had to put topless woman in it. It was originally going to be, I'm pretty sure it was originally going to be sponsored by slap Dave Mira's face on it, but obviously that sort of thing doesn't fly with advertisers, stores, what have you. It's not appropriate for all ages. So that's all I really know about this series. I don't even know what this game looks like. As with most of this Game Boy Grab Bag, I intentionally fill it with a bunch of games, mostly shovelware that I've never played, sometimes never even seen before. So without much else to talk about, the best course of action, just start the game. Here we go. Acclaim. Yeah, I know Acclaim made this. Holy crap, dude. Look at this. It's full. Holy shit. That was so fucking crusty. You can't. They probably wasted so much space fitting that fucking FMV onto this cartridge, dude. So we got multiplayer, password options. See what simulation, arcade. Replay is just inaccessible. Okay. So let's go for some single player. Does this game have I don't see a battery in this game, so I think this is actually flash memory. Well, I guess this is the first one that it loaded on, so I guess we'll do this. Find all 5 spray cans, get 1,800 points, get 1,200 points just by grinding, so I guess those are my missions. Oh no. It's tank controls. Oh no. it's tank controls, except the back button doesn't move you backwards. I mean, I guess that makes sense because, like, you can't really... Can you pedal backwards on a bike? I don't think you can. So... Okay, this might be one of the worst games I've ever had the displeasure of controlling on the Game Boy. Game Boy. I just need to get used to the controls here. So I guess nobody has learned the lesson that you shouldn't make sports games on the Game Boy Color, I guess. I do enjoy how my bike is, like, the metal part of the bike is the same color as my flesh. So the implication here is that this is a flesh bike. Oh, bad. Replay your last run, press select. We gotta figure this out, right? Okay, so how do I... Oh, yeah, no, this is pretty terrible. Let's see what happens if we... Options. You know, since this is flash memory, and there's no save on this, this implies that the kid who bought this played it for a little bit, and then just never got far enough to save it, and just gave up and never played this ever again. Okay, we're doing arcade mode. Hopefully that changes something for the better. It did not change the controls. I was hoping that it would change the controls. Now I want to see what that tree says. I'm pretty sure I looked at it earlier, but I don't actually remember what it says. Pete plus Monica. So I wonder if that's a dev for the game, and they put that in there as like a little developer Easter egg or something. You have to find the credits for this game and see. You crashed. God, the controls are so bad. No, okay, how did anybody like play test this and go and say like, okay, yeah, this is a perfectly fine, acceptable way to control a bike game. Like, they could have easily just like made the controls like normal. Like, it would be just, genuinely, this game would be just like probably way more fun if the controls were just normal. But they decided to make it fucking tank controls for some reason. I'm guessing the reason why it's tank controls is because they wanted like smooth 360-degree movement. But you can't do that with 8-degree movement or 8-direction movement if you just you know, if they made it control like a normal game. But I feel like that's the type of thing that you just kind of have to accept when you're making a Game Boy Color game. You can, okay, so you unlock tricks. I know I need to grind, but like how? Well, yeah, this game's not very fun. Okay, so maybe not. Okay, maybe this isn't flash memory. This is just like passwords, and that's why there's no save here. Yeah, I don't fucking care enough about the passwords and anything, so. Eat more popcorn. Is that a banana peel? Can I like eat shit from a banana peel? Hold on. If I can fucking get up there. I hate tank controls. You know, I was actually making a game. Yeah, surprise, surprise. But, you know, I also attempt to make games. I'm not very good at it, but I try. And the first iteration of it was using tank controls. And then, you know, because at first I was like, yeah, let's do tank controls. It'll be a unique way to control the game relatively, since games don't typically use tank control anymore. And I figured, like, you know, might as well try it. And quickly I just replaced it with like regular controls, because I realized, oh, there's a reason why nobody uses tank controls. If they fucking suck. And that's my story of why I don't use tank controls, and why this game also shouldn't use tank controls. What? How do I grind? Dave, Mira, you put your you put your name on this game, and you should feel bad about that, Jen. Like, really, you can't just be putting your name on literally anything that comes your way. Like, I get it, you gotta eat, right? But I don't know. I feel like there's more competent games you could put your name on. Oh god, this is so terrible. Did I say no bikes? Yeah, no bikes in this schoolyard that is like seems to be explicitly designed for bikes. Okay. Like, you know, no people would not be putting like ramps and shit around if they didn't want me to bike here. Yeah, I don't even remember my current password is that. Okay. TDL1CT, whatever. I don't care. I'm not going to play this again. So I guess, I think I probably said this already, but I guess my previous theory of some kid played this, never made any progress, and never picked it up ever again, guess that's not true. So these are the only 2 levels I can play, and I will never, ever, ever go further than where I am at, just because of how bad the controls are. What do you mean I crashed? Let's check view trick list. At least he's wearing a helmet. No knee pads or like elbow pads or anything, but helmet. Keeping that melon safe. I could see this being fun with friends, multiplayer. That might be cool, I guess. But other than that, I don't know. The tank controls are genuinely just so bad. And it's not even like good tank controls. You can't reverse. Ugh. And I guess you probably can't reverse on a bike, so it's like, whatever, right? So, but still. This is definitely not the ideal way to play a biking game. I could see this. I could see like a Game Boy, or not Game Boy, like GameCube or something, PlayStation version of this being pretty good with analog. Like maybe Nintendo 64 if we really want to push the crust levels, but yeah, Game Boy Color. Oh, that just turned red for some reason. That's weird. What? Just let me jump up. Because there's something up there. I know there's something up there that might be cool. Okay, so backwards is a brake at least. I do know that now. Or the down button, rather, is a brake. Okay, so X, finding the X is 10,000 points. I thought I would like get used to these controls, but I genuinely just haven't yet. I don't even know if I can. I don't even know how I grinded there. Ground? Is it so in the context of like, biking or skateboarding or anything, is it grinded or ground? I assume it's grinded because ground just sounds wrong. It's over. It's so over. Oh man. Yeah. I would really love to like actually be able to beat a level, but I genuinely just don't think I can because of how horrible the controls are. Guess let's look at training, I guess, and see what training is. So I guess training doesn't actually have any like, oh, here's a cool tutorial how to do things cool, I guess. It's just literally just like a free play mode. The hell am I doing? I don't think bikes do that. So what does the arcade even do? Is that for like multiplayer? It's interesting that they actually do have like sound like options here. Let's look at these fine people who brought this game to life. There is a Pete there. What did he work on? Additional programming. So graphics. Oh, there's a Pete right there, the co-producer. So that guy's actually a Pete. So maybe it's that guy. Let's see. Liz Boucher? Dorian. Betty Froberg. Let's see. Come on, you gotta give me some funny names. Coppola. Well, that was a weird fucking credit screen. Like, just the fact that you had to manually scroll through the different pages instead of just like, watching them scroll by. Let's see. Huh, there's no E. In fact, there's no. Interesting. So there's no. Whatever they go. Yeah. There's no vowels except for Y, which is a vowel sometimes, and W, which is also a vowel sometimes, but only in Welsh words or something like that. I do enjoy how the G, like the white selecty thing on the G, got stuck there somehow, and I have no clue how that happened. Whoops. I wanted to do this. Hold on. Oops. The controls on this aren't very good. That doesn't work. That doesn't fit, but if I do this, hold on. This gotta work. Engage, Ridley, motherfucker! Nope. Well, that didn't work. Well, yeah, I mean, it wasn't as expansive as the other games I've played. I don't know how I would rank it between all the sports games I've played so far. Because I'm thinking, right? Like Madden 2002 was just incomprehensible to me, but I'm sure it's perfectly playable if you know football or whatever, right? The Ken Griffey Jr. Slugfest, perfectly comprehensible game for the most part. There's a couple things that I just kind of question, like how the controls work, but I could actually play that game generally. NFL Blades of Steel That game just made me sick, like genuinely. Like I was feeling pretty close to throwing up when I played that game. This game is just completely unplayable because of the controls. So I think I think this might be the second worst one so far because to this game's credit, I didn't get sick. You know, uh, one of these days I got to do like a tier list of all the Game Boy games, like Game Boy grab bag games I've played so far, and you know, shovelware is shovelware for a reason, but it's still kind of fun to see these forgotten games, these games that nobody cares about. It's like interesting, and I own these games, so I might as well use them instead of just letting them rot away, even if I'm not going to like play them again after this. So I don't know. But yeah, before I go to bed, I do want to open up another pack. I got them, might as well. You may be wondering, oh, wait, it has like a little rip tear tattoo thing right there. Why aren't you using that? Well, the reason is because if you use that, you'll damage the cards. It'll get stuck on the cards and like dent the cards. It's stupid. We got Derpy! Hell yeah. That's some sort of scene right there. Ooh, that's nice. So usually I guess these are sketches, but I guess they have like, or I guess not sketches but line art, but I guess they have like full art versions or whatever, or fully colored in. And there's a King Sombra. I do remember this guy. This is the season 3, season 4 antagonist, I think, because season 3 antagonist would have been Chrysalis, right? And there is a fancy pants looking Spike, I guess. Horses. I am aware that I do run the risk of alienating potential watchers by doing this My Little Pony card opening segment, because there is a contingent of people who think bronies are weird, and I don't blame them because bronies are fucking weird. But I don't really care. This is my channel. This is kind of a journal for me, so who cares? Yeah. This is definitely the pull of the night. Derpy motherfucking hooves. We all love Derpy. But yeah. I'm going to bed.